Our military training happened to collide with my period. I raised my hand to ask for leave, and right after me, my boyfriend's childhood sweetheart raised her hand too. The drill instructor, face unreadable, frowned and said only one person could rest. He wouldn't approve a second. From my boyfriend's squad came Eric Miller's voice. Rachel, you're tougher. Lena Price has always been delicate. You're just having cramps. Can't you let her take the leave? Snickers rippled through the boys' ranks. He already knows his girlfriend's cycle? If his girl's so tough, does she even know what tender is? He's even comparing her with his little childhood sweetheart. Lena lifted her brows and put on a show of anger. What are you saying? Isn't my brother allowed to worry I'll get tired? The boys wagged their eyebrows, and someone made a crude crack. If he's afraid you'll get tired, then your brother should just put in more effort. Furious, Lena hurled an empty water bottle at them. The boys' formation was called to assemble and set running elsewhere, leaving only the girls. Our instructor pinched the bridge of his nose. Enough. Company, form up. Cold sweat slid down my back. He looked me over, pointed, and said, You, go rest, then motioned for Lena to get back in line. She immediately jutted out her lower lip, shot me a resentful look, and muttered, Can't measure up to some people. What an actress. This round of cramps hit hard. It hurt so much I had to get a shot at the infirmary before it eased even a little. At lunch, Eric came by with brown sugar water. His tone carried an implication. Lena's on her period, too. I've never seen her in so much pain she needed a shot. Rachel, if you've rested enough, you should hurry back. Since the break went to you alone, of course people feel a certain way about it. That won't be good for you later. My heart lurched. Never seen her need a shot, so because she doesn't hurt, I'm required to go back? Eric Miller, are you saying I faked being sick to dodge training? He pressed his lips together and kept quiet. I asked, So you didn't come to check on me. You came to see when I'd be better so your little childhood sweetheart could reasonably skip training, is that it? He set the cup aside with a helpless sigh. That's not what I meant. Lena's younger. I just want to look after her a bit more. There's nothing else. Rachel, don't get jealous, okay? I stared at him calm. Childhood sweethearts, innocent playmates, if you like her, then there's no need to be with me. Eric panicked. How could that be? I don't have feelings for her. I turned my face away. Go. I don't need you here. In the afternoon, I went back to the training field anyway. The instructor waved me into the line. Lena let out a little sneer. All better that fast, huh? My stomach clenched in waves. I honestly didn't have the strength to last until dismissal. Eric came over with a bottle of ice water. About noon, maybe I sounded a bit harsh, he began, still trying to explain. I just felt like I hadn't finished saying. I twisted open my thermos and drank my own warm water. His hand hung awkwardly in midair. It still hurts, I said evenly, and kept sipping. I glanced over at Lena, laughing with her classmates, a healthy flush in her cheeks. I don't need what you think I need. If you like passing judgment, go ask her. She was bouncing around just fine, yet jumped in right after me to say she didn't feel well. He froze. Lena happened to look over, dropped her gaze, and put on a pitiful little appeal. I only bought your girlfriend water because I was afraid you'd be in a tough spot. If she won't drink it, is she looking down on me? Eric scrambled to his feet, flustered. Lena's eyes were already red. He hesitated. Eric looked a little torn and held the ice water out to me. Rachel, just take a sip if you're thirsty. It's Lena's goodwill, at least. Seconds ticked by. I didn't take it, and Eric grew impatient. He shoved the bottle into my arms. That's enough. It's just a period. Do you have to be so dramatic? The bottle slid from my chest and clattered to the ground. The drill instructor shouted for assembly. Eric took a few quick strides and fell in beside Lena. Their voices drifted over. Eric, how did you get to college and end up with a girlfriend like that? Lena said in a coaxing, aggrieved tone. Eric ruffled her hair. Okay, that's on me. I followed the line back. Just before I took my place, I passed Lena. She silently shaped the word trash at me with her lips. I raised my voice. Who are you calling trash? The air tightened. Everyone around us went quiet. Lena froze, her eyes turning red right away. The instructor walked over. What's going on? Lena flailed, on the verge of tears. Sir, I don't know why she keeps targeting me. The boys' formation not far off started buzzing too. When the instructor looked my way, I drew a long breath. "Reporting, sir." I had just walked over when I heard someone say, "Your teaching sucks." The cafeteria was packed shoulder to shoulder. Between training and my period, I was so exhausted I could barely stand. By the time I reached my window, there was one small grilled fish left. I swiped my card, but before I could open my mouth, a tray slid in front of me. "Ma'am, the grilled fish for me, please." I turned and found Lena staring at me with wide, innocent eyes. "Your boyfriend insisted on grilled fish. I'm getting it for him. Cutting in front of you doesn't seem like a big deal, does it?" The last grilled fish slipped neatly onto her tray as the server passed it out. I'd had enough. I flipped her tray. Lena shrieked, and the whole cafeteria snapped its gaze toward us. Eric rushed over, yanking on my camo sleeve to pull me back. "Rachel, you're out of line." Lena's eyes went glassy with tears. "What do you even want from me? If you hadn't slandered the instructor, why would our whole class get punished? Everyone's exhausted. It's hard enough to eat, and you still won't let me be?" Greasy sauce dripped down her collarbone in slow taps. Eric didn't care. He grabbed napkins from the window and dabbed at her, voice rising as he wiped. "What more do you want? Rachel, I'm your boyfriend, not your pet. I've only got one female friend, Lena, and you still won't allow it. You keep targeting her. Do you want me to belong only to you?" People nearby started pointing. Some even raised their phones, screens practically in my face. I actually laughed from anger. "So what you mean is, the meal I paid for has to feed your little sweetheart. She grabbed the last grilled fish from me, and I'm not allowed to say a word. Otherwise I'm targeting her and you both?" Phones swung toward Lena. Her face flushed, then blanched, and she hid behind Eric. "I'll pay you. It's not like I said I wouldn't." Eric ground his jaw. "Even if she didn't get a chance to pay yet, it's just one fish. Did you really have to lay hands on her in public?" The pain in my abdomen ratcheted my temper tighter. I fixed my gaze on Lena. "I know you like Eric. Since you like him so much, I don't want this trash. He's all yours." I picked up my own tray. Before leaving, I looked back at Eric. "The grilled fish is 16. I don't care which one of you transfers it to my phone, just do it. Don't make me track you down for it during training." I walked out of the crowd and could still hear Lena Price's sniffling. What does she even mean, threatening you with a breakup? It was just one fish. She set me up during training, and I didn't even make trouble for her. Eric Miller and I were desk mates all 3 years of high school. From freshman year through senior year, we did practice sets together, prepped for exams together, and got into Southlake University together. Back then, his eyes held nothing but our shared future and hard work. On registration day, I turned down my family's offer to see me off, and also declined an upperclassman's ride, only to run into Eric and Lena standing side by side at the campus gate. When he saw her, his surprise was plain. "Lena, what are you doing here?" "I knew your dream was Southlake," she chirped, hooking her arm through his. "So I took the exams and got in too. Surprise." Then, belatedly, she looked over at me. "Huh? And who's this? Why are you staring at us, ma'am?" Eric glanced at me and, almost on reflex, slipped his arm free. "Rachel, this is Lena. We grew up in the same housing complex. I only stopped seeing her after I met you in high school. I didn't expect she'd get in here too." Lena's face lit with sudden realization and a baffling little smile. "So this is that gorgeous desk mate of yours? Shame I didn't go to your high school, otherwise I'd be the pretty one." She looped her arm through his again and giggled. "But don't overthink it, ma'am. My big brother and I were only close when we were little." I didn't expect Eric to stop me again before assembly. The sun was brutal, and he was clutching a scalding paper cup of milk tea. "Last time I brought ice water because Lena didn't think it through," he said. "This one I made sure of myself. I added dried longan. Maybe it'll help." I stared without answering. He sighed. "There's really nothing inappropriate between me and Lena. We just grew up together, that's all." He set the cup beside my thermos and hesitated. "I know you're not feeling well, but Lena put on makeup today. She's worried it'll smudge and look bad. Could you give the spot to her later, just for me? Please?" I swallowed the urge to throw the hot tea in his face and turned away. He wouldn't let it go and caught up. "Rachel Lynn, how can you be so cold? You already slandered her and made the instructor add extra drills. Seeing how exhausted she is, you don't feel even a little guilty? I stopped and raised my voice. Extra drills are for everyone. Why claim the instructor did it on purpose? As for slander, why don't you ask your little sweetheart whether she called people trash? I pointed toward the eaves. There are security cameras here. Eric, do you dare pull the footage? Instructors began filtering out from the dorm direction. Lena stamped her foot. The instructors are coming. Brother, get back in line. The staff moved to the front and the lead instructor clapped his hands. We received a report that first-year dorms are messy and unsanitary. With the dorm manager's help, we've completed inspections. The dorms I name will step forward to learn room organization. Building 3, room 305. Color rushed into Lena's face. She snapped her gaze to me. Who reported that? Rachel Lynn, jealous of me again? Do you want to drag everyone down? In an instant, every eye swung to my face. From the boys' ranks came a shout. Rachel Lynn, how many times is this? Do you have to screw Lena over? The named dorms stepped out one after another, taking up a corner of the field. The instructor's voice rang out. Room organization is a key part of training. Blankets folded into neat squares, personal items arranged in order. The ground was spotless. Everyone, proceed to the designated dorm buildings to learn room organization. All other units rest in place for 20 minutes, the instructor announced. The dorms that were named began to move, and Lena Price jabbed a finger at me. Was this your doing? You don't like me, so you're dragging everyone down with you. Is that it? Eric Miller's side had been dismissed, and he finally found a chance to rush over. Was it you? Just because I asked you to give up the rest spot? Rachel, that's too much. He didn't even bother to ask first. He convicted me on the spot. I lifted my eyes to him. So what you're saying is I'm the kind of person who schemes behind people's backs. His gaze wavered. I don't mean that, but the timing is just too coincidental. I shut my eyes. Maybe I wasn't very clear in the cafeteria yesterday. Let me be explicit today. Eric Miller, we're done. Go protect your little childhood sweetheart yourself and stop pinning everything on me. Luckily, we'd only just gotten together. Luckily, it wasn't that deep. Eric looked frustrated. Don't change the subject like that, Rachel. Even if it wasn't you, everyone thinks it was. That's bad for you. Lena might be a bit pampered, but she doesn't have a bad heart. Go apologize to her. Say you acted on impulse. I'll tell her to let it go, okay? His logic made my blood boil. If I apologize, that means you've decided it was me who reported them. Eric, do you have proof? The sun baked down. Seconds crawled by. After a long time, he forced out. Even if it wasn't you, Lena's entire dorm is getting punished. Just apologize and soothe her. I'll make sure she drops it, all right? I stared at him, suddenly too tired to even argue. So your brain and your eyes exist solely for Lena Price? He frowned. There's no need to be snide. I'm not the only one who thinks it was you. I'm saying this for your own good. I glanced around us. For my own good, you want to shove my head down and make me confess, just to keep your sweetheart happy? I'm not doing that. Eric shifted, uncomfortable. I stepped closer and met his eyes. Even if you suspect me, you need evidence. Smearing your ex-girlfriend in public? What does that prove? Just how lousy you are. Eric panicked. What ex-girlfriend? You said break up because you were mad. I never agreed. He started to backpedal, but as Lena ran out from the dorms, he suddenly grabbed my wrist. Rachel, we'll talk about the breakup later. Lena's been wronged so much this time. Please bow your head and help me coax her. You're always the sensible one. Lena isn't. She's a delicate girl, and she'll definitely throw a fit. I shook him off. That's disgusting. I couldn't help it. I snatched up a water bottle from the ground and hurled it at his face. You fucking idiot. Lena quickened her pace, barreled in, and shoved me hard. Rachel Lynn, have you no shame? She shouted. Do all the men in the world have to be yours? Eric and I have been close since we were kids. You can't stand it, so you target me. And that's not enough. Now you want to hit me too? Everyone who'd finished the room checks was gathering behind us, their eyes on me, and not exactly friendly. Eric moved on instinct to steady me, but Lena yanked him back. Brother, he hit you and you're still defending her? Since we were little, who would dare lay a finger on you? What gives her the right? Lena Price was crying from the heartache, and the students who'd just come back from room checks were frazzled and muttering. reporting a whole dorm over a little spat. How vicious can you be? And now she even dares lay hands on her boyfriend. Amazing. Poor Lena, stuck with a rival like that. Eric Miller hesitated, his expression shifting again and again. I drew a deep breath and a sudden calm settled over me. So when you pelt a male classmate with a water bottle, it's just playful roughhousing. But when I throw one at my own boyfriend, I'm some malicious, irrational witch. Tears clung to Lena's cheeks as she stared at me, mouth parted. I let out a cold laugh, fixed my eyes on her hands, and raised my voice. Do couples teasing each other really require you to feel sorry for someone else's boyfriend? If you see another girl's boyfriend on the street, are you going to hug him and whisper comfort too? The looks from our classmates turned strange. Lena flushed, instantly let go of Eric's shirt, then reflexively tugged him back. Brother, do something about her. That night I tossed and turned, nauseated. For 3 years we'd sprinted together, and it was always Eric timing it perfectly to leave a cup of warm brown sugar water on my desk. He knew my condition. After taking me to the infirmary the first time, he promised he'd keep my cycle in mind. Every time he was more anxious than I was, always wanting to tell the PE teacher for me. I closed my eyes. So I'd been blind about these 3 years. I was about to block him when a message popped up from him. Rachel, I'm really a bit tired. Lena's just a kid. I've taken care of her since we were little. Maybe she's just not used to you being around me. Please give her a little grace. I really hope you two can get along. Right then a girl in my class sent me a link. Rachel, look, someone posted about you on the confession wall. I tapped it open. The top post stared back at me. No names, but every single detail lined up with me. What an eye-opener. She rests because she's not feeling well, fine, but she's jealous. Reports an entire dorm so they get punished with room checks. Can't win food in the cafeteria, so she flips a tray and drenches someone in soup in front of everybody. Now she's leveled up. She straight up hit her boyfriend. All because he has a little sister he grew up with a heart that vicious who dared date her. The attached photo was a blurry candid of me and the comments were vile. Damn, she's a lot. Which college is she in? Avoid. I know who it is. Saw it with my own eyes in the cafeteria. She looks quiet, but she's nuts. Drama, drama, drama. Feel bad for the boyfriend and the childhood sweetheart, getting stuck with a psycho. Her boyfriend's that handsome guy from Jingyuan, Eric Miller, right? The sweetheart got in with him. Name's Lena Price, super sweet. Heard her initials are LKK, drama queen LKK, noted. Stay away. Blood surged hot to my head, my eardrums roared. Just then Eric messaged again. Rachel, did you see the confession wall? It's blown up. Do what I say, go apologize to Lena. I'll reach out to the page admin and say it was a misunderstanding. Let's all act like nothing happened, okay? She just talks tough. She's been soft-hearted since we were kids. Rachel, I wouldn't lie to you. He was still trying to talk me into bowing my head, his tone as if he were really thinking of me. In that moment, I finally understood. 3 years side by side still couldn't compete with a single tear from his childhood sweetheart. I drew a long breath and typed on my screen. Eric Miller. Dorm inspections are an official school action. The dorm managers keep records, and the report line has call recordings. It's easy to check who made the report. Lena Price cut the line and grabbed the fish I'd already paid for. You pretended not to see it. She provoked me with her words. You pretended not to hear it. I push back, and suddenly it's my fault. Your double standard, consider it noted. We've already broken up. If you keep harassing me, I won't mind posting our chat logs and a full timeline on the confession wall so everyone can see exactly how you and your sister pushed me to the edge. I hit send and without hesitation, blocked his account. The world went quiet, but the knot in my chest didn't loosen at all. Listening to my roommate's even breathing, I tossed and turned. At 3 a.m., a message arrived from an upperclassman. You wouldn't let me pick you up just to get treated like this as a freshman? The next day, the atmosphere had shifted. Wherever I walked, I heard whispers. That's her, Rachel Lynn. Look at her, acting so calm. Thick-skinned. She's been blasted on the wall. What a mess. Stay away, she's going crazy over a guy. Eric stood in the formation, glancing at me again and again, complicated and silent, never once speaking up for me. A girl slipped her arm through Lena's and comforted her. Running into someone like that, bad luck. Think of it another way. Maybe she's just jealous. Please don't, Lena murmured. Her jealousy's a bit too much. If we keep talking, I'm afraid she'll. The girl rolled her eyes at me. So what if she targets you? Only the empty keep hopping around, clawing for attention. Lena rubbed her fingers together and stared at me from where she stood. Do you think she's empty inside? If so, isn't that kind of pitiful? Maybe I should talk to my brother and give her a way out. As long as she's brave enough to admit she's wrong, I can let this go. The girl was still soothing her when a pair of casual shoes stepped into view at the head of the ranks. I'm afraid not, a slow voice said. He raised a recorder. As it happens, I have audio. Classmate, you can't just let this go. The crowd stirred. Lena pressed her lips together. Who are you, coming here to stick up for Rachel Lynn? Someone near him whispered, Andrew Pye. The girl tugged his sleeve. Andrew Pye, Jr., assistant lead for training and student body president. Color drained from Lena's face. Sir, everything that happened is true. We're all training together. Anyone can testify. I don't know what recording you're talking about. Eric ran over, looking unsettled. Andrew tapped the recorder and smiled. Unlucky for you, the duty office phone auto-records. Shall I play the caller's voice for everyone? The training ground fell dead silent. In the next second, he pressed play. Dorm manager, I want to report Building 3, Room 704. It's a mess. Blankets not folded, underwear and socks tossed everywhere, and there are illegal appliances. Andrew paused the audio, voice even. Sound familiar? Every gaze swung to Lena. The voice on the phone was identical to hers. Most importantly, 704 was my dorm number, and the girl who just defended her was among those ordered to do room checks. He let go, staring at Andrew in disbelief. Lena Price's eyes went red, and she looked to Eric Miller for help. He stepped forward. It's just one recording. That doesn't really prove anything, does it? Besides, the report says 704. Wasn't that dorm not punished? Andrew Pye smiled. Sow the wind, reap the whirlwind. Lena's gaze swept the crowd. Almost every look on her was tinged with suspicion. She couldn't take it and shrieked. It wasn't me. It really wasn't. Andrew's eyes moved over the field, his voice clear and steady. Dorm inspections are arranged by the school. If your room failed and got punished, that's on you. Arbitrarily smearing classmates and even stoking things on the confession wall is seriously out of line. I'll report this truthfully to the instructors and your department. Lena panicked, tears spilling. No way, you're just the student body president. How could you butt into something this small? You must be siding with Rachel Lynn. She didn't finish. Andrew had already turned away. The instructor's voice cut the tension. Lena Price, step out. Everyone else, resume training. She was led off. Before we reformed the lines, Eric shot me a complicated look. Rachel, what's your relationship with that guy? I acted like I didn't hear and walked back to the ranks. The moment the rest whistle blew, Eric rushed over. The girl who'd defended Lena earlier was awkwardly apologizing to me. Sorry I misjudged you, when he shouldered her aside. You still haven't said, what's your relationship with that president? I lifted my eyes. Your childhood sweetheart just got taken away. Instead of checking on her, you ran over here to interrogate me? His anger froze on his face, embarrassment leaking through. I don't even know where they took her. Anyway, you're here. Don't change the subject. I'm your boyfriend. You need to explain why some stranger is helping you. I stared at him and enunciated every word. Because I can't rely on you. His face changed drastically. The girl he'd shoved aside snorted. You've been backing your sweetheart non-stop? What right do you have to grill your girlfriend for not asking you to stand up for her? Someone nearby chimed in, and I already blasted those two dogs on the confession wall. What a pair of jinxes. Ugh. Eric pointed at her, but a few girls closed ranks and stared him down. He dropped his hand, flustered, and looked at me. Lena's young. She's not like other people. By seniority, she should be calling you sister-in-law. Rachel, could you not? I cut him off. I couldn't stand another of his ridiculous lines. I'm not her sister-in-law, and I wouldn't be blessed by it even if I were. You and I already broke up. Back in high school, you could understand plain language. Try to keep that skill in college. His expression shifted. I ignored him. The whistle blew. Training went on. After dinner, I didn't expect to run into Andrew under the dorms. He was leaning against the wall with a small clear bag in his hand. When he spotted me, he walked over. His expression was still tight with concern. "I talked to a doctor," he said. "Since you suddenly changed cities, the adjustment might be affecting your endocrine system." He handed me the bag. "Try this medicine." His brows softened. As for childhood sweethearts who stuck together through grade school and middle school, walking that close. "We've known each other 18 years, Rachel Lynn. Do you really have to be so formal with me?" I hurried to take the medicine. "Thank you, Andrew." He nodded. "Get good rest. Only a few days left. Hang in there." I called after him. "About that recording?" The corner of his mouth lifted. I happened to be in the duty office and heard it. He blinked, gave me a little wave, and turned away. A moment later, my phone buzzed. "Kiki, when something happens, don't always think you have to shoulder it alone." On the last day of training, Lena Price showed up in formation, encircled by a few girls. "So it was you reporting your own dorm and framing other people? You even lied to us that Rachel was targeting you and had us speak up for you. Lena, have you no shame?" The words they'd used to attack me finally boomeranged into her. She went chalk pale and instinctively tried to plead. "I didn't mean it, I was just scared." Eric Miller turned his face away. "Brother," Lena called to him. The girls snorted. "Brother? There's no blood relation? Did his family adopt you on paper or what? It's just fake siblings to play at being flirty, gross." The instructor arrived and finally cut off the hubbub. Lena shot me a tearful look, loaded with inexplicable hatred. I frowned, a weight sinking in my chest. Anything connected to Eric seemed determined to trip me up. At dawn, the review performance began. Each unit scrambled to square up. Our company stood adjacent to Eric's men's company. While the instructor was stressing final notes up front, something slammed into my foot from behind and my body pitched forward. The yelp caught in my throat, then someone grabbed me. "You okay?" Andrew Pye steadied me. I shook my head and straightened, heart still thundering. I caught Lena turning her face away, frantically fussing with her pant leg. Another petty, under-the-table trick. I was fed up. Orders rippled down to our company. High knee step, hold formation, call the slogans. I kept my guard up around Lena. Thankfully, she didn't pull any stunts during the march. But as soon as we stepped off the field, she lunged in front of me and blocked my path. "Rachel Lynn, why did you rip my clothes?" For a second I thought I'd misheard. "What are you raving about now?" "During the performance, you deliberately yanked my uniform." Her camo top really was torn. Not covering much, a wide swath of white glaring through. With all these people around, did you do it on purpose? Just because of those earlier misunderstandings, you want revenge? I've already been punished. Do you have to ruin me completely? Thief crying. Stop thief. Classic. Eric elbowed his way over, and Lena's tears fell harder. Rachel was the closest to me at the time. "Brother, I'm really scared." The murmurs kicked up around us. "Again? Those two again? Enough, let them take it to court." Even the onlookers are exhausted, but tearing clothes in a crowd is too much. What if Lena really got exposed? A girl shouldered through the ring, holding a palm-sized camcorder. "I recorded the entire review. It's all on file." I smiled and took the camera. "From just now, the angle should be crystal clear." "Lena, you say I ripped your shirt, no matter how small the movement, even if you didn't fight back, there'd be something on video, right? Do we need to replay it here and now?" Lena Price's face went chalk white. "You can't record the review performance," she blurted. "Right," I nodded. "Phones aren't allowed." "But this isn't a phone, it's a camcorder." The girl and I shared a smile. Lena instinctively searched for Eric Miller. Disappointment was written all over his face. "So it really was you, again." Lena shook her head in panic. With everything already obvious, I started to walk away. Andrew Pye was waiting just outside, a teasing smile tugging at his mouth. "Drawing inferences from one case to another, you still learn fast." I smiled back. The camcorder hadn't even been on. The girl and I had staged the whole thing. Andrew had played along like a pro, too. I fell into step with him. Otherwise, how could someone get into Southlake just by living off your notes? He shook his head. "Funny, rumor has it Eric Miller tutored you for 3 straight years. What do you say to that?" He ruffled my hair. "Want me to say something? I'll say we should get something good to eat, celebrate your release." I couldn't help laughing. Looks like I still have work to do. I can't completely block out every lie that flies. I went back to the dorm to change into long sleeves, and when I came downstairs, Eric was waiting. "Rachel, can we talk?" I stopped. "If this is to plead for Lena or to explain your pure friendship, don't bother." "No," he said quickly. "I'm here to apologize for being blind, for being a jerk, for the grief I caused you. I know it sounds ridiculous now, but I really see my mistake." He stared at me. "Admitting wrong and changing is a great virtue. Rachel, give me another chance, okay?" Looking at the boy who'd filled my high school years, I felt nothing at all. "So you think I can't coexist peacefully with her? That the thrill of two girls fighting over one guy is gone? Now that Lena's reputation is shot and she's no longer useful, you're picking me instead?" His face went pale. "Rachel, that kind of assumption is cruel." I took out my phone and, right in front of him, removed his number from my block list. His eyes lit up. "Rachel, I knew." I cut him off. 16 yuan, you still haven't paid me." He froze, incredulous. "For 16 yuan, you're really gonna hound me?" I nodded. "So are you transferring it now, or should I ask you again in front of everyone?" He looked mortally insulted, pulled out his phone, and muttered, "You've become unreasonable, petty." I finished it for him. Watching him type the amount, I realized he might have added an extra zero. I kindly reminded him, noted as grilled fish compensation. My phone buzzed. 160 yuan received. "Thanks. We're square." I waggled the screen. "Rachel," he called after me, flustered. "Is this really it?" I glanced back. "If you get sick someday, you can still call me. We were classmates after all." My steps felt lighter. The last light of the day washed over Andrew as he coasted up on a bike. Calm eyes, easy smile. "All handled," I nodded. "Cleared over 100 net. Impressive." He pushed another bike toward me. "Come on, let's get a feast to celebrate." "Deal." I swung on. The autumn wind skimmed my cheeks, carrying a kind of indescribable freedom. The disciplinary notice for Lena came out. Repeated provocation, framing classmates, and causing negative impact at major events. The school issued a formal reprimand to be entered into her record. On the day the announcement went up, crowds gathered to read the notice, and I caught snippets as I passed. So she staged the whole thing herself? What a drama queen. Now it's blown up in her face. That Eric Miller isn't much either, blind and clueless. Poor Rachel Lynn, what a mess to be tangled up with the two of them. I blocked Eric again. He sent me another long text that day, basically saying he'd always seen Lena as a child, which was why he indulged her, that he'd never wavered. His heart had only me in it, before and after. Could I give him another chance? I read it, then deleted it. Andrew was right. Wasting emotion on someone unworthy is being irresponsible to myself. At the dorm entrance, I still ran into Lena. Her eyes were wild. "Rachel Lynn, are you happy now?" I tried to step around her, but she cut me off. "I've been written up. There's a stain on my record. You must be thrilled. You ruined me." People nearby turned to look, and I had to stop. "The person who ruined you is you," I said. "Every choice was yours. If it weren't for you stealing Eric's attention, how would I?" She choked, and for a second, I found her pitiful. "Eric never belonged to me, and he certainly doesn't belong to you. He belongs to himself. After all your humiliating tricks, what did you get besides a disciplinary action and everyone's disgust?" She bit her lip. I must have hit the mark somewhere, because she burst into loud sobs. A roommate whispered, "She's gone a little unhinged." I shook my head. "The road you take is the one you choose." Not long after, I heard Lena had applied to change majors and moved to a campus far from our department. Talk about her gradually faded. Eric sank into a slump for a while, drifting into my line of sight now and then without speaking, just watching me with aggrieved eyes. I treated him like a stranger, for real this time. Sometimes Andrew walked with me, offering a word or two right when I felt lost. And I was grateful. My roommate asked if Andrew liked me. I said no, but she rattled off evidence, the perfectly timed recorder, the way he always appeared at my worst moments, the way he reminded me I wasn't alone. I still shook my head because only I knew this. Andrew's care for me was purely the friendship we saved up from childhood, playing together, studying together. That feeling won't curdle. When both of us someday have someone else, it'll simply be time to go our separate ways.